welcome to the Poets Cafe, the art of conversation. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds through various forms of expression, including writers, singers, spoken word, and artistic expressions in painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities to the mind of all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to embark on a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. This is Poetically Speaking with yours truly, Terry Benjamin and Ronald C. McCrae. Again, we come to you this afternoon with a special program with a special person, and also a special topic. Today's agenda is Lady Entrepreneur, playing big in abundance. The quote of the day is, our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions have the power to manifest as our reality. This is from Lisa Nichols, life coach and author. And before we get into our program, I just want to make something clear about what we're going to discuss today, entrepreneur. And again, I have two definitions of entrepreneur. One is basic and one is a little deeper. And the first one here is, what is an entrepreneur? The entrepreneur is an individual who creates, organizes, and manages a business, typically with the goal of making a profit. Now, that's one definition, but here's another definition, a little deeper here. An entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. So, again, an entrepreneur is someone who offers a business, but again, with everything, any enterprise that you engage in, there's a certain risk. There's a risk of failure. There's a risk of things not working out the way that you intended them to work out. But believe me, if you go down that path, you're really more than likely to be successful, because not everybody does. A lot of people want to play safe, and sometimes the one who's not playing it safe really has the greatest advantage because they have more options. And so I want you to think about that as we go through the program today. But as always, and special, we start with Ron's poetry. What you got for us today, Ron?
I have something really ties in, piggyback of what you just expressed in reference to, taking a chance as an entrepreneur,
yes.
Any business, small, big, or whatever. And really it starts with the thought, dream, and idea. If you don't take that dream and that thought and plant a seed, then how would you cultivate something and allow something to grow? But let me read this, and I think this ties into, because it does. Inspiration, institution. And so the inspiration is the desire that one has to fulfill that dream and whatever motivates you. But institution will keep you isolated in the dark shadows, and you can always moan and groan about woe is me. But let me continue. Inspiration arises from a shared dedication to understanding what shapes our view of life, a collection of self-worth choices on display. To be an inspirer is to experience the joy of a lively spirit dancing with grace, harmonizing with the best style of living for wellness, and uplifting others out of a slump. Where worries exist without hope for change, but knowing that a stranger may extend an arm of a caring heart. A loving heart is the foundation of life, not shifting towards distraction, but fueling a revolution of strength for a better tomorrow. Today, The sounds of flourishing wisdom shine brightly, sparkling new life within the spirit of the soul. The institution forces a sense of isolation from a world that offers greater self-security, leaving no space to explore where boundaries are absent. Instead, it occupies a confined area, surrounded by inward-facing mirrors, creating an illusion of multiple reflections from different angles within a multi-dimensional view. Institution brings joy without causing others to wonder why life feels like a solitary moment of freedom within a tight 4x4 corner, just enough to circle endlessly and never realize that the life one was born into wasn't hostage to a dense stillness of frustration. Once the spiraling stops, then awareness can only be regained when the mind awakens. When the awareness of death strikes, it can remind you that your life can be renewed before the consequences of someone saying it's too late to live a whole, abundant life. Living life to its fullest, is a home far beyond the boundaries of this earth. However, one must believe that while the sun still shines and the air we breathe flows with the sounds of sweet hummingbirds during the early morning dew as it descends upon the earth, it is waiting for the comfort of your soul.
And I like that because it talks about transformation. It talks about ambition. It talks about realizing our dreams. And again, and as I was listening to the poem, it really moves. It moves through these different ideas. And so when you started thinking about this poem and this title, what were you thinking about?
You know, I think about it from my perspective, outwardly, listening to each and every person all around. Doesn't matter what level you're on, but some of the conversation that always take place. And one of the most important is that, at least for me, from any book that is read, you know, inspirational book, motivational book, it pretty much says the exact same thing. You can have the inspiration to fulfill something because you want to feel that energy. You want to feel and share that spark of life that you have in you with somebody else. But as we also know, on the other hand, there is the institution. Okay, you isolate yourself, and when somebody come into that dark corner that you don't come out of, because all the shades and doors are locked and shut, so there's no light around you. And you can find it in any book, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, whatever book, you can find the conversation of darkness. You know, because our conversation, our art of conversation is about sparking, renewing, inspirational. And so again, that's how I look at when I write something like that. And when I wrote this, I looked at it from both sides, inspiration and institution. And we talk about pretty much on a regular basis. You could be inspired by something or somebody, or you could institutionalize your own self and look in the mirror of darkness, no matter how you look at it. But the bottom line is nobody can see you and you can't see out because everything is locked all around you because you're scared. But the motivational piece is trying to get inside to at least help, you know, strike a spark in you to take away that fear so you can come out. It's just like a child. A child reach out because they're scared to stand up and talk or move or whatever, and you say, don't worry about it. Come on, come on. And let me say this part. That's what Jesus did. All those who followed God or whoever, Moses, whatever, the bottom line is Jesus stuck out his hand and said, come, reach out. Don't worry. You got to trust. But if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust anybody.
That is so true. That's so true. And that's why when we talk about entrepreneur, there's one who creates a business, manages a business, organizes a business, but also is one who takes a risk. And that's sometimes separate the men from the boys and the boys from the girls because, again, you have to venture out there to make sure that what you have is something that you really, like we always say, that we cultivated. We cultivated it, we took care of it, but then we put it out there. And that makes a difference. Because a lot of people thinking about making a business, doing something, but they never really get beyond the thinking stage because they're too afraid to take that risk. They're too afraid to put themselves out there. And we know that you can't really reap nothing if you don't sow anything.
No matter how you look at it. I mean that's a given.
That's good.
You can't eat if you don't buy any food. If you don't buy any food, you don't have no food. And if you don't have any food, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Want somebody else to give you something?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine. We're here to lift someone else up better than ourselves.
That's true.
But you also have to reach for it. You have to want it. You have to need it. You have to have the desire to crave that emotional state to say, look, I need help. I want something. What am I going to do?
That's a good point.
You see, no matter how you look at it. Child, as we all know, we all came here blind, and until we was able to see. Once we were able to see, we start to look around. You look around, you start to roll over. And when you roll over, you start to crawl. And you went from crawling to trying to stand up. You wobble no matter how you looked at it. But once you learn how to stand up, you learn how to take a step.
Yeah. But it's constant movement,
Yep.
and with that constant movement, there's growth and there's a development. Again, it's we all have dreams, but I think sometimes people get so lost in the dream that they don't make it a reality. They get so lost in the dream that, it's some people, they talk a really good show, they really tell you what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And it's all on paper. It's all on paper and looks good on paper, but it never comes to reality. And this program this afternoon, we're going to talk about how you can move from that thought, from that feeling to something real and something tangible. So you have any more poetry for us?
Yes. I'd like to read this one. It's a short one.
Okay.
But it's important because, again, it ties into our conversation today. Key thoughts. This one, woe is me, Lord. You see, too many want to cry and scream and say, woe is me, Lord. But see, you need to understand when you express it, when you open up your mouth and move your lips, you need to understand what do you mean and what is it that you want the higher power to yield unto you. Woe is me, because you're not the only one. Woe is me, O Lord, I need prayer. We often need prayer. But how often do you truly listen to the answer God provides through the Holy Spirit and find salvation through Jesus?
Right.
When the times and seasons of our lives change, when do people decide to call on the Lord for help? What situation are you currently facing that has made you forget about God when things were going well? Or is it just a moment of distraction that shifts your focus away from the one who can help, especially when he said to call his name? Did you do that when things were good? Or did you decide to scream and cry now that something bad or a disaster has happened? And see, that's just a key in food for thought. And it's important.
Right.
When do you yield not only to a higher power, but that's supposed to be first. Second is, do you reach out to your neighbor? Do you reach out to a friend or somebody that can help you? Whoa, I need help. See, two hands is better than one.
That's right.
I mean, no matter how you look at it, this studio here, two is better than one. We had to have an engineer.
That's right, yes.
No matter how you look at it, the equipment.
Yes.
So you have to have, but you cannot do it alone. And the issue, I think, in a lot of ways, is too many trying to do it alone. Yes, it gets to that point. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it when I was doing construction. I had to do it. Once you take on something, once you create something, you take it on and you birth it, you cultivate it, you bring it to life. Don't just say, well, I had a thought, I had a dream, and put it away. Because as I said before, we talked about it, you can put that thought and dream away and somebody else come pick it up. And they don't have a clue that you made it.
That's right.
Or you dreamed
That's right.
about it.
That's right.
But now you're mad because now you're looking at them, looking at your stuff that,
That's right. Yeah.
that they brought
that
to life.
thought that you had, that they
Exactly.
made reality.
That's right.
So again, that's the thing. And that's why we were so happy to bring to you today a woman who's the epitome of the things that we're talking about. And because this is Poetically Speaking, we're going to bring this guest to you in a very special way. So I'm going to put this picture up and
And so here, our guests, as we always say, the titles and positions, we respect those titles and positions. But here on this show, our platform, we are family. So we identify each and every person, and with all respect, as brothers and sisters, because I think that's one of the most important things of the foundation.
Right.
So I'd like to give you a little background that was drafted, but our guest today will surely enlighten you to everything that I cannot and have not explained. So I'm just giving you a little seed that I just planted.
Okay.
So she's going to cultivate the rest and guarantee you, and I'm saying guarantee, you're going to be excited. The title of this is At a Tender Age. And this is important for everybody, young, middle, or seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
At a tender age, at the young age of 16, I worked with some dear friends with an inspiring vision, unsure of what the future would bring. But we aimed to dream ahead. At 16, now an adult, my story begins as I share my journey down a path I never knew existed. Let me guide you through this walk and reveal who I am today as a partner of what is now called BKS1 Radio TV station. Alongside Storm Warning, Norman, I will set aside some time for us to connect. The president and other friends, together we've made our mark. With a proud pledge of unity, we committed ourselves with honor and trust. My name is Trish. I was born and raised in an uncertain environment filled with ambiguity about what my life would look like until I could see a brighter future ahead. Influenced by close friends, I was led to follow their dreams, hoping that one day in my wild illusion that would be where we are now. During our journey, we have grown closer than we were before I turned 16. Now married with a family, with other ventures as I continue to move forward. Now I share my spoken word with Trish. About Trish, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the most important thing, as we said, our guest today, as you heard her name called, our sister, Trish. And she will continue to enlighten you and inspire you more about who she is. She's going to tell us her story. And as we talked about entrepreneurship.
And our special guest is AKA Patricia Collins Roach. And she is our lady entrepreneur.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good
How you doing?
Blessed, definitely blessed. Happy to be with you both.
Oh, happy to have you with us. And it's so funny because, you know, I've known you in many different aspects because, you know, you are an engineer here as well as now you're a guest.
Yes.
So how's it feel to be on the other side?
I do it occasionally.
You know, and it's really interesting because, you know, as we got to know you in many different ways, and the thing that really stands out is your entrepreneurial ventures, you know, because we know that BKS1, but also you have another venture. What was that other venture?
Well, I have a few up my sleeve,
Okay.
but I co-own a food truck with my husband, catering business, and we have another partner. Her name is Shelly.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's one of our ventures. We've had a few through the years. When I first met my husband, we used to do flea markets,
Okay.
and our daughter was young, and we named it after her, Nicole's Dreams. I think that was kind of our
That's beautiful.
first official, you know, business. But yeah, many journeys through entrepreneurship, going back to the 80s.
Oh my goodness! And I guess my question to you is: are entrepreneurs born or entrepreneurs made?
I think both.
Both. Okay.
For me, my father was very just had a mindset that there was something bigger for him than a 9-to-5.
Okay.
So even though he was definitely a company man and he loved the company he worked for, he brought and had properties.
Okay.
And he was a landlord. And at 5 and 6 years old, I was painting, sweeping,
Wow.
washing
Okay. See
windows,
that? Yeah. Whatever it takes, right?
weeding, whatever was to be done. So he put us to work. He put me to work.
That's beautiful. Now, I want to go back a little ways. I want to go back to the beginning, the origin of BKS1, because, you know, we're here, and it's so funny. I didn't even know about this facility until it was here like 12 years plus. And so I'm sort of new to what's going on here. But how did that begin? What was the origin of this?
Well, I have to take you back a little bit to when I met Norm, my partner. And what's unique about us is that there's there's 5 of us.
Oh, wow.
And we grew up together.
Okay.
And from high school.
Oh.
And so I was working in a local record store.
Mm.
People probably don't know what that is. Some people.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Steve Sound Shop.
Wow.
And Steve opened his doors to the young people, and he let them come into his basement. He let them rap and make music and
Oh, that's
practice their
great.
dance.
Uh-huh.
And I worked in the store.
Okay.
And that's where I met Norm. We were in 2 different high schools.
Okay.
And he had a group called Fresh Finesse. And so
Yeah,
I just
remember
began
that.
to reach out and get publicity for them. I wrote something up, and I started sending it out to the magazines, and they started
Wow.
publishing it.
Okay.
And we were like, whoa. Next thing,
It's
I was their
working.
tour manager. I was getting them shows.
Wow.
And getting them on the bill with some known artists at the time.
Okay.
And so we did a lot of shows locally. And that's where we started. And then we kind of branched off into different directions. They got a record deal. I went to work for that company.
Wow,
And that
okay.
company had a hit record, so I traveled the country with that.
Mm-hmm.
And full circle, we came back together.
Mhm.
And, you know, what people don't remember, I'm going to say they don't remember about Norm, Storm Norm the General,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
he's an incredible songwriter
Oh, okay.
and,
yeah,
and producer.
Okay.
And he produced some great songs. We had the opportunity to work along with Whitney Houston's family and with Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Earl the Pearl Monroe. You
Oh,
guys,
I
he
remember.
had
Wow.
a record label.
Uh-huh.
And Norm did some great production. And that just kind of morphed into, we tapped into doing blog talk radio.
Ah, I remember Blog.
That was in the early
I remember
2000s.
that. Wow.
We
yeah.
did it in Norm's house, and we were excited for it every week. We brought all types of artists through that house, and then the Lord saw fit to bring us here in 2008, and we've had some staying power.
That's right.
So we've been blessed to have a little bit of everybody come through here, and it's been a process. And it's just different elements to our business.
Yes. And it's interesting, you know. What's your title on the door there? What is the
Janitor.
best?
I mean, no, we always joke. It's soup to nuts. We do everything, but
Okay.
I co-owner, co-producer. In addition to what we have here with BKS1 Radio TV, we also have a company, Best Kept Secrets Entertainment,
Yes.
that produces. We produce major concerts
Okay.
for municipalities across the Northeast, and we're looking to
that's
branch that out.
amazing.
We've had some very successful shows. So, that's another element to what we do.
Again, it's amazing.
You know, that's so important. And as I said, we're going to have a dynamic conversation there, because what the sister just expressed is what we constantly say all the time. It's about connecting with, and it's about unity, it's about trusting, it's about being inspired to do something, to start with just something. And she said, this sister said, we started with just in somebody's basement, somebody wherever.
Yeah, whatever.
But before it got to the basement, it was a thought, it was a dream, it was a vision, and it was shared among themselves.
That's right.
Too often today, too many want to scatter all over the place and try to do things on your own. You cannot do it.
Right.
But if you can't connect with somebody that like-mindedness and trust that person, you'd be surprised what pyramids you can build.
That's true, and it's often been said that if you could achieve your dream by yourself, you're not dreaming big enough. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Because I mean, for a big dream, it takes a big team, you know, and that's why we talk to people like you, but we also have books, and I just want to do just a quick transition. We have a segment in the show called Mind, Body, and Books, where we introduce different books from our personal libraries. But I just want to share this with our audience here. This is a book called Playing Big, and this is entitled Playing Big, Find Your Voice, Your Mission, and Your Message. And this is from Tara Moore. And again, Patricia, I know you can relate here because, again, you're always playing big, you know. And I just want to go in the book here and really just sort of define what it means to play big. And then when we're saying playing it big, it says here, this is the very heart of playing bigger, having the vision of a more authentic, fully expressed, free from fear, you, and growing more and more into her, being pulled by this resonant vision rather than pushing to achieve markers of success. And so again, as you move into this, you know, you're going to find out that there's other mountains to climb. There are other things to look at. And the last book that I want to look at in this particular segment is from the young lady who actually provided the quote. The quote, when I began here, I said here, our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions have the power to manifest as our reality. And this is from a book by Lisa Nichols. And it says here, Lisa Nichols and Jane Switcher, Abundance Now. Amplify your life and achieve prosperity today. Okay, so again, just to give you some idea about some books that can really community get you involved in the whole idea of being an entrepreneur. Because again, especially those who are out there who are writers. Well, writers are entrepreneurs when it comes to really selling their books. And now even before selling their books, there's the idea, but also is actually putting the book together, as you well know, Ron, because you know you have an idea for the book. So then you got into the production of the book. So how do you get involved in that?
You know, it's a journey, and like anything, like we're talking, you know, it's a thought, idea. How do you work? Who connect with? And you know, be honest with you, even for myself, like everybody else, you start with a blank mind, you start with confusion in your head, you start with screaming to yourself and whatnot, trying to help me, you know, but it gets to the point where that voice keeps coming back, that feeling keep gnawing at you, keep saying, no, 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 you got to do, you got to push. If there's a will, there's a way. Right. Those are facts. If there's a will, there's a way. If you're willing to get up, there's a way to get up. You see, and let's keep in mind, I say this out of deep respect too, for all those who was born with a disability, those who were born with half of whatever part is missing, but the will was determined to do something, go someplace, create something, then something. I'm always inspired. And let me say this before I forget too, because even when I was naturally, we talked about being co-host, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But even when we had the opportunity, at least for myself, when we had the opportunity, one of the co-owners at this time, Norman, I had no clue who he was, his background, but we had him on as a guest only for me to be inspired based on who he is, where he comes from, what he has done. That's right, and like I always said, you never know who you're going to meet. So I'm inspired. His journey, our guest today, our sister's journey is an inspiration, as I share with you, an inspiration to move forward. We all have dreams and ideas and creativity. That's right. Or I could have said, you know what, whoa, I ain't make it, it's not me, and I don't have no point. So I could have institutionalized myself. And that's the whole thing. And so with that, I just want to say it is truly, and I say this seriously, it is truly an honor not only to have Norman on, but hear another co-author, another co-partner, our guest, Trish, knowing who she is, this sister, as an engineer, because we need an engineer. I need an engineer.
Yes, right. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this program, and really the amazing thing that tonight, Patricia is an engineer and also a guest.
Sometimes we wear multiple hats.
Multitasking.
So she's multitasking.
I want to jump in on your segment real
please,
quick.
come on.
I want to share a book that I've been reading.
Oh, okay.
It's called Life Without Limits. It's Nick Vujicic. And so
great.
I want to see, hopefully people can see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Incredible book.
Yes.
He was born without arms and legs.
Oh, man, yes.
And
I remember him.
Multi-millionaire, married with 4 children.
Yes.
And they just didn't know what life was going to be for him as a baby.
Yes.
And he just kept pushing ahead. And I mean, just an incredible book. If you all ever get an opportunity, this would be a great book to have on the in your repertoire.
And it's so funny because I do have that book, because I remember when it first came out, I was watching all his videos and whatnot, and the thing that really got me was the fact that here was a man who had all reason to say, you know what, I can't do anything, I'm just going to be helpless, but he not only achieved a lot, but he achieved it with a sense of humor. Because when he was giving his speech, he's on a table, okay, and he's cracking jokes with it, because I want to feel sorry for him, but I'm laughing because he's making me laugh, because he's making me see beyond his disability.
Yes.
And that's why it's so sad when we have people out here, community brothers and sisters, who have all their faculties and they're not doing anything. And it's just so sad. And I know that I mean, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Some people like well, it's not really security, because if you look at it, but the security of a 9 to 5.
Right.
Now, I did that when I had to, but when I retired, I never wanted to go back to it again. It was all me from that point on. But you have to have that feeling that I could go to work for someone else, but working for myself is such a satisfaction. And Patricia, what you're doing is not only working for yourself, but also you're leaving a legacy for your children, because they can't say, well, you know what, I don't know how to do this,
Right.
or I can't do this, which
I hear a lot from them. Do less, Mom.
No.
But that is my heart. My family is my heart. But I actually do both. I have a 9 to 5, or we'll call it it's probably a 60-hour work week.
Yeah.
But I do both, and I love both. I love both.
That's amazing.
You know,
she's an amazing woman.
I'm telling you. And it all ties into inspiration, because as you shared in previous, and I say the same thing, you know, I raised my kids. You do both. You do what you have to do, but you do it with grace. You do it with love. There was no anger, frustration. And so that's what's important, no matter how you look at it.
Right.
And then sure, even with the gentleman you just showed, I remember seeing him years ago on TV.
Yes.
And I followed him.
That's right.
And that's the inspiration, because this brother not only was riding horses, he was swimming.
Yes,
he was doing
he's
everything.
a very good swimmer.
Yeah,
and the movie's coming. There's a movie about it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to see that. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think if I'm almost 20 years ago at least, you know, when I first was introduced. And so those are the things that inspire. And as you said, you know, with all your faculties, when you sitting there talking about, as I said here, institutions.
I can't.
I can. You know, 150% of everything you come out your mouth, outside of inspirational, is an excuse.
And it's sad. It's sad because we have so many avenues of inspiration. And I just want to go into another segment of the program, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time with Patricia. But we have a segment of the program called Music is Lit. And in this segment, I want to do some mathematics, okay? And I want to go back to 1974. And this is one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite songs. And this brother, you know, when he came out, people call him Ray Charles Jr. Because he was so inspired by Ray Charles, sang like him, you know, played the organ and the piano like him. But then he sort of came into his own. And when he came into his own, he was doing instrumentals, but he also was doing singing. As a matter of fact, he sang so much, and he hooked up with the Beatles, and they began to call him the fifth Beatle. I'm talking about Billy Preston, and I'm talking about this song that is funny, but it's true, and it's timely. And the song is Nothing from Nothing. It goes, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me. I'm not trying to be your hero, because that zero is too far for me. I'm not trying to be your highness, because that minus is too low to see. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me. That's right. Got to have something, believe you me. You got to bring something, girl, if you want to be with me. Remember what I told you? I'm a soldier for the war on poverty. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me, okay? Because, again, we can't have a partnership with I'm bringing everything, you bringing nothing. So we got to have that. And the last song that I want to share is from 1966. And this gentleman, I really didn't really appreciate him as much as I could have until I saw a movie. And it was really a documentary about, had a group of Americans going to Africa. And they couldn't get James Brown for the concert. They wanted James Brown, but they said, well, you know, we can't get James Brown, so who can we get? And so they got Wilson Pickett, and he tore it up. Boy, he had those Africans jumping up on the stage, dancing with him, and it was just a great performance, and I was just amazed at his performance. And that's why, you know, I started calling him the wicked Wilson Pickett after I saw that film. But again, this is from Wilson Pickett again, and then Love and Business, you know, 99.5 won't do. Okay, we got to have 100. And so he says here, I got to have all your love, both night and day. Oh, yeah, not just a little part, but all of your heart. Oh, yes, I do, child. 99 and a half just won't do. Don't be led in the wrong direction. Start to think a man needs a little love and affection. Oh, yes, you do, child. 99 and a half just won't do. Just won't get it. Got to bring it down and start getting it right. Or yes, we have, child, stop messing around and keep things tight. Oh, yeah, we got to realize that 99 and a half just won't do. Got to have 100. Got to have 100. Ain't no use in fooling ourselves. Lord, we ain't going to be able to get by on 99. No, got to have 100. Lord, have mercy. Just want to say 99 and a half just won't do. And so 99 and a half, not just in the song, but also in life. And that's why some people don't really understand that if you want to win big, you got to play big. Okay? If you want to get it all, you got to bring it all. And so with that said, we want to get into some fun with you, Patricia. We want to really sort of pick your entrepreneurial mind, and we want you to help us understand some things. Now, these are questions that I'm going to start with. These are from a magazine called Success. And Success Magazine, they have this segment that I'm going to share with you. Now, this is Success Magazine. And they have
Tim
this one.
Tebow on the cover there.
Yeah?
That's Tim Tebow on the cover.
Yes,
there.
yes, Tim Tebow and his wife, you know, a former beauty queen, a pageant queen and whatnot. But the thing is, they have this segment where they interview entrepreneur, you know,
Okay.
and it's entitled My Way. And again, in the way, they start questions and they ask you to finish it. So I'm going to start a question, Patricia, and I'm going to ask you to finish it. And the question here, the part is, I define success as...
And before I answer that, I just want to shout out to Laretha and Richard.
All right, yes, please. We love a shout out.
I define success as service to others. That when you help enough people get what they want, inevitably you're going to get what you want.
Well, that's beautiful.
And I have a heart of service.
Yeah. You know, and again, and we'll continue with here. I want people to know me for...
A heart of service. I want people to know me as someone that they can come to and, you know, find help and support.
Yeah. But, you know, that's all very important. And here, another one here, it says here, I handle negativity by...
Nothing beats negativity except positivity. So even when I do it myself, and my daughter, shout out to Brianna and Andra, 2 girls,
Okay.
6 boys.
Oh,
I can't leave them out because I'll hear, oh, you said
No,
her
you got
name.
no. Say their names. Say their names.
God bless me with a crew. He definitely did. But if I do tend to turn to a little negativity, she checks me because I always check her. And so sometimes you don't realize your speech is not what it needs to be because you really control that.
Yes.
Sometimes you forget it. So if it's not what I need it to be, I'm going to speak it in a positive way.
Oh, that's beautiful. Again, the column here is entitled My Way. And another part here says here, the most surprising thing about me is... What's the most surprising thing about you? Besides the fact that you have all those children. that when you told me that sort of blew my mind. I said, what? Yeah. When did she start?
Well, you know, I always seem to go back to that because that, you know, 8 kids and 17 grandchildren.
Yes. Yeah.
But I would say, I think the thing that surprises people the most is that I can let my hair down.
Okay.
Yeah. I think people are very surprised when I'm not, you know, when I just become very comfortable.
Well, you know,
Been very surprised.
yeah,
but-
because last night you were very comfortable. I saw you on
Oh,
Facebook.
yeah, I had a
yeah,
good time.
I saw you dancing and just having a good time. And one of the things that sort of I saw, well, I knew it before, but I saw it even more so last night, that you're very proud of the city Plainfield.
Oh,
You're
man.
very connected.
Don't get me talking about my city, but yes.
I know. I was almost crucified.
Yeah, well, hey, yeah. You almost took this brother's head off, you know.
Yeah.
What? You talking about Plainfield?
I rep
I had to
Plainfield.
creep on back.
Yeah. So now, were you born in Plainfield?
Actually, I was born in Union, but I've been in Plainfield since I was 3.
Oh, okay,
So I've come
okay.
through the school system. I'm born and bred. My father, my parents, you know, both. He built a home here. They built a home here, and they built business here in terms of the buying properties, and you know, they help people along the way.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
You know, I still remember the first parade my father took me to. Yeah, so I'm definitely a Plainfield girl.
Okay. Well, I mean, but that's a good thing, because I think that with all people who have a vision and a purpose, it comes out as some kind of philosophy, you know. And I think you sort of epitomize that. I describe my vibe as, how do you describe your vibe?
Very patient. I have a very I'm a very patient person, and I think that probably kind of describes me, my vibe. I'm usually pretty mellow.
Well, that's beautiful, and you exude that, you know, because I mean, when we first met you, I said, man, she's real calm, you know, you know. And how about this one? One thing I do every day is
Pray.
oh. I thought you were going to say that. Now, when you say pray, is it any special way? Is it any special prayer that you pray? Is it?
It depends on what's going on.
Okay.
I just have a conversation with my God,
Yes,
my Lord,
yes,
and
yes.
it depends what the kids are doing. Am I having to call down heaven? Because I will be calling down heaven. I need to put some blocks around you. You acting crazy? Oh, I'm going to the King. And I will do it anywhere, anytime. So just to give you a quick one.
Yeah, please.
I was in a
Please.
car rental place, and my daughter's a teacher in North Carolina.
Wow.
And there was a child there with a weapon.
Mm.
And she
Oh
had
my goodness! Wow.
spoken to the child earlier that day. So she assumed that child was coming for her with that weapon.
Oh my goodness!
And
Wow.
she had told the school administrator, so they locked her in a room.
Whoa.
And she called us. Now we're getting in the car because we're traveling to her for an event she had. To
Yeah.
But her voice on that phone. So I had to break into prayer in
Oh my
the
goodness!
rental car
Whoa.
office.
Yeah. I hear you.
It
I
wasn't
hear you.
nobody blocking that. You can pray with me, but you're going to move out my way.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
I
hear
say
you.
anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime. That's where I go to war.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because you know that helps. You know.
And just to let people know, the young
please.
man was able to receive help.
Oh, wow.
And everybody was fine in the school. Nobody was hurt, and they put things into place to help him. But he was not targeting her. He had been bullied,
Okay.
and he was coming after other children. So I mean, this is another thing
Wow.
that gives me a sense of purpose, because I also coach young children,
Okay.
ages 4 to 16, and they need adults in their lives that have positivity and that they can draw from. And they need some old school folks in there. Somebody to sit down.
That's right. They need to hear that. And I'm going to just share one last thing from this segment called, this book here, this magazine, and this My Way. And the last thing that I want to share is, in 10 years, I hope to.
In 10 years, I hope to have great impact in a new position that I just received, a promotion I just received.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll be helping people move away from rental assistance and grow in terms of maybe home ownership, meeting goals of career and education.
Yes.
And it'll be across the state of New Jersey, and so I look forward to having impact there where I'm able to help people reach their goals.
Yeah.
That's business-wise. I would like to see BKS1 maybe transition into, not maybe, but transition into a, not just the webcast, which is worldwide, but maybe we would take this to a another channel, multiple channels.
Okay.
Family-wise, I pray I have a lot more married children. I'm expecting to get to probably 20, 25 grandchildren.
Oh my goodness, look at you.
And I hope at that point I may be retiring and heading south.
Well, Patricia, I don't know if I can see you retiring because you got too much energy. You got too much get up and go. But again, it's we're not done yet. But I just want to say this definitely a pleasure and a privilege to have you on in this way, because like I said, we know you as engineer and the owner, of different businesses and that kind of thing. But this is nice. This is beautiful. What say you, Ron? Is this beautiful?
You see me, I'm like, but everything ties into, and this is how the Spirit moves, and you don't know how things. And I always say it's a time and season. This is a time and season. You can see how things are starting to cultivate and flourish.
That's right.
And so even the piece I read, inspiration or institution, this sister right here gave everything she had presented, even in this time of season, is inspirational.
That's right.
And I just wanted to just jot down right quick, as I listened to her, the heart of service. We talk about all the time. You got to have a heart. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember because I was reading something today in church, and I think it was Ecclesiastic 5th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But don't hold me to it, but you can look it up. And having the service, having the patience, and I'm gonna say all these at one time. Having the patience, as she indicated, and she is the fruits of her labor, regardless of the family, but nevertheless, she's the fruits of her labor.
That's right.
That's what's important, the fruits of your labor.
Right.
You cannot do anything other than that, because God has given us a tree of life, and the fruits that bears it. And then have in prayer. That's a foundation. I don't care what religion, what background. And as I read and whatnot, don't wait till the sun go down or darkness come upon you before you pray. No, you're supposed to pray constantly, as often as the word said. God said, as often as you can, pray. Even if you don't know how to pray, say, our Lord, come into my life. And that's it. Just call his name, no matter how you look at it. Helping others, reaching their goals. Too often, everybody want to go and try to do their own thing. No. Here's a system. We often talk about, even our previous guests, how to reach out and help somebody else. Because I said all the time, Philippians 2 and 3, lift someone else up better than yourself. Because if you lifting somebody else, the blessings will come upon you, and then somebody lifts you up. And that's the whole family, the tribe, no matter how or term you want to use. Because we all come from a tribe. We didn't come from some whatever. It's either a village. And keep in mind, a tribe or a village shows a distinct difference between the grace, the foundation for where you come from, because a tribe and a village hosts everyone under the sun with blessings, spirit, writers, poets, singers, you name it, gifts and talent. And so here's this last one, having a great impact. If I didn't say it, but I will say it now. Having a great, that's important. That's so important. And so this last one, just a question. You said you was heading south?
Yes.
What part of South?
Probably North Carolina, Raleigh, that area.
It's interesting because my daughter's a realtor. She has a license down there, and I keep talking about North Carolina. So again, the conversation, we never talked before. We just said hello, and that was it. Goodbye. But to show you the inspirational aspect of the piece.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because, again, like I said, we come to know you in a quite different way, and it's a beautiful thing. Because one of the things that we do on this program is we like to give people their flowers, and not when they're deceased, okay? And so I just want to take just a moment to give you your flowers, okay? And so my brother...
No, this is your job.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. And it is truly an honor because, again, it's from both of us, no matter how you look at it.
Thank you.
You see? So again, it is truly because again, the fruits of your labor, everyone deserves the blessings, everyone deserves to be recognized, and we trying to look upon everyone. Doesn't matter your situation, condition, age, whatever the case would be. It's just like a child.
Yeah.
If a child is crying and whining, what do? Pick that child up.
That's right.
You don't shun that child. You embrace that child because all that child needs is a hug. We need a hug. Your sister need a hug. Because the bottom line is those roses is what we have shared, and we say that sincerely. We giving her a hug. He gave her a hug full of roses. Every petal on that stem represent the heart of love, the heart of service, the prayer, the patience, helping others reach their goal. Every single petal, and I'm quite sure it might be 300 petals on there. So, but this sister, it was truly an honor to have this sister as our guest to give us inspirational aspect of her life, her journey, what she's doing for others, and we will continue to carry that on with you.
Yeah. And again, we're not finished yet, but it's just that this may be a preview, because we've been talking about doing a program on the 5 love languages by Dr. Gary Chapman, and one of the 5 love languages is acts of service. People who really, their love language is to give. Is to do for others. And as I speak with you this afternoon, Patricia, I get the sense that you love to give to others. And my prayer, my wish is that as much as you give to others, that you have enough for yourself. Because I see too many people who give and give and give, and they just exhaust themselves. But I pray that you are surrounded by a loving and caring family, and that you realize, although mom is busy, mom needs some love too. Okay, mom need to put her feet up, and let her hair down and that kind of thing. And it's so funny because I know for myself, I remember sometimes when I was teaching, students would come into the classroom, and I'm into my thing, and as we get into the introduction, whatnot, and I start smiling, and then one girl came to me after class. She said, "Professor Benjamin, I thought you was mean." Until you start smiling, I said, "Hey, I'm not mean. I'm serious. I'm trying to put things in place for you." So that takes for me a certain amount of concentration and intention. But after we get that settled, okay, after we get that done, we can have a party.
There you go. That's me.
That's you. That's you.
That's me.
Now, I mean, what is your astrological sign? I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
Taurus.
Taurus. Okay. Now that's the bull.
Yes.
Stevie Wonder, one of my favorite musicians, is Taurus. And the thing is, and like I said, not to go too much into astrology because I can take it or leave it, but one of the things the sign indicates is self-determination. That when they set their mind to something, it's going to happen. I mean, come hell or high water, it's going to happen. And so you can come along with it, or you can just watch it happen. But it's going to happen.
I attribute it to Cleo and Emily.
Is that what it is?
And Cleo is my grandmother.
Okay.
Emily, my mother. Lorraine, Nancy, incredible women in my life.
Okay.
Catherine, my mother-in-law. All no longer here, but I was raised in it. Okay, I was raised in it. So that's what I attribute it to. You get the job done.
Well, that's beautiful because like you said, you come from a long line of strong women. I think, again, I mean, I know for myself, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. I knew my father and mother never got married, but the people who raised us, my mother and my grandmother, both strong black women, and they really helped me understand that things can be done if you put your mind to it. And so, again, you come from that long line of women. What is your relationship with your daughters? Are they entrepreneurial? Are your sons? What's that?
They're chip off the old blocks.
Okay.
My husband and I will be celebrating 33 years of marriage.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. And we, as my mother said, we had the cart before the horse. So our daughter's going to be 35 in September. But when I met him, he had 2 boys.
Okay.
My sons, Marquitas and Stefan. Then we have Brianna, Eddie, Colin, Drake.
Say their names. Say their names.
So our children range in age from one will be 45, The oldest will be 45, and the youngest just turned 21.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
It's been a journey, but a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. I often say we're a little crazy, but
Yeah,
yes,
but that's
they
all right.
all have a level of the entrepreneur spirit in them
Okay.
in different ways. You know, Drake is crazy in sales.
Mhm.
He works for an arena football team, and he's
Wow.
raised
Wow.
well over $100,000 in sales. And they all have it. But Brianna's also a radio host, and
Oh, okay.
she works in her community. And yes, if you saw me at the Pink Tea, that was her one of her events.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they all, in one form or another, they all have it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this.
That's
I want
beautiful.
all-
That's beautiful. I love that.
I want all that family recognize his face, because if I'm someplace, I want you to know I had your mother on this show.
That's right. That's right.
I had the honor,
The privilege.
the privilege. It is truly a blessing. So seriously, you know, and just in short, and I like to say this because even what was just expressed in a conversation, and I write pieces, etc., the art of a mother's love. This sister have already just shown, just in short, she only gave us a tab. But all those who related and know to her, even the family, know that here is a mother's love, regardless. The journey, like she said, the journey wasn't all that, but the bottom line is it was about the love. And this is what we would talk about previous, and we will continue to talk about. What is love? What is romance? How do you define it? This sister expressed it. When you listen to her and have listened to her, what she have shared in reference to her journey.
Wow.
But it's a mother's love. No matter how you look at it, I don't care what book, the Bible, whatever the case may be. But we all come through the wounds of a mother. And the fruits of her labor have shown that, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, it was interesting, and we have about 5 minutes, so you want to take us out of here?
I don't know what else to say. I mean, the sister done said everything. But, you know, in short, you know, and again, I want to continue on that, a little bit on that, the mother's love, but all love, father's love,
That's right. Family.
biological, we always said, call me father, uncle, brother, no matter how you look at it, stepfather, stepmother, no matter how you look at it, it's the love of somebody who cares about the kids of somebody else's child. And you don't have to be a child in age, but it could be somebody, a grown person. Somebody needs a hug.
That's right.
Yes.
Somebody needs to be encouraged. Somebody needs an inspirational feeling to know that somebody cares about them. Because guess what? Everybody who believes in a higher power, he, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit,
Whatever,
Moses, the Prophet Muhammad, no matter who you call, somebody cared for you and cared and lift you up out of despair situation. So the bottom line is, outside that is no excuse why you can't reach back and help somebody or lift somebody else in front of you, because this sister has said that she's doing it, she have done it. And as I started out, from a tender age of 16, didn't have a clue, but look what she's at today. So she earned her flowers and her
right.
roses,
That's right.
no matter how you look at it.
She did.
She is the fruits of her labor.
And this has been Poetically Speaking.
Hi, my Ruby.
Yeah, she's the queen. She's the queen.